Alright, gang, what is going on? What is up? I'm just making sure that everything is going smoothly here. Let me double check all this. Let's see. Just moving around my my references here. Alright, so today we are going to be doing the sculpt for the chair that we modeled last time on our last stream. So let's go ahead and just get started with that. If you all remember, we were gonna go with more of a like Norse look, kind of following in with Skyrim. Let me go ahead and pull up the reference board here. So this was sort of the reference board that we were working with last time, and sort of what I would like to keep to. A lot of these like more like angular, less organic carvings, lots of patterns, stuff like that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking that we'll go with. We'll also add in some more of these like more Norse, like organic patterns in here and stuff. So, but we're sticking with the dragon motif. So let's go ahead and just jump into this. You know. Hopefully, in a perfect world, though this is not a perfect world, but in a perfect world, we will actually be, whatchamacallit, we will be, God, what is the word? Texturing today, but I don't think that'll happen. I think we'll probably just be sticking to the sculpting, just because sculpting usually, my experience, takes the longest, and texturing probably won't take us terribly long because I'm just going to use one of my like an edited version of one of my smart materials for Substance Painter, like I normally do with Skyrim, just because Skyrim, when you're exporting from Substance Painter with Skyrim, it has very specific needs. When it comes to the textures and stuff. So we will be making sure that that is taken care of, because we don't want to screw that up. Because if you export the wrong types of like materials, or if you export the wrong types of maps to Skyrim, just nothing really works, right? Just see a viewer hopped in. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing? Today is the sculpting stream. We're going to be going ahead and sculpting this throne that we made last time. Let me take a look-see here. Yeah, so I'm thinking, oh, my keyboard's all messed up. What are you doing? Oh, there we go. Let's go ahead and, yeah, we'll just start. I'm gonna make a copy of this, just in case I fuck it up. Always make a copy, always make a duplicate. You don't want to screw it up and then be like, well, that sucks. But yeah, I think this is good. I'm going to add some sharp edges around here as well, just to make sure that we keep our curvature in the places that we need it. Let's go head over to sculpting. I really hope I have all my brushes. I should. Yes. Oh wait, maybe I don't. Maybe I do not. What the hell? Where'd all my brushes go? Very sad. Very sad all my brushes are gone. That's very annoying. I will have to figure that out. I don't really love the way that Blender in 4.3 did the whole new brush thing. I'm sure if I understood it more, I would like it, but it's a little bit irritating. I might have to append them from another file that has all the brushes in them, or we could always just do it later. We can just do it later when it matters more. I don't really think we'll need a lot of the brushes right off the cuff. Alright, so we're going to start with a clay brush. And so this is where I always struggle a little bit. I never really know if I want to do... I'm also going to get rid of that for now, because we don't really need that at the moment. I always go back and forth on whether I want to do... Oops. Ruggy. Yeah, so we're not going to be able to do that. So I think we're probably going to have to do Dynatopo this time, which is fine. I'm also going to go ahead and put this as its own separate piece, just so we're not fucking with it too much. We'll address that on its own. So let's go ahead and start with, let's see here, let's start with this dragon. Actually, I might just be able to do multi-res modifier. Nope. Nope, if I want to do that, I'm going to have to go back through and clean up all these edges, which I can do. It's not actually that difficult. I'm just a lazy bastard. Actually, I wonder if I can just select sharp edges and then clean it up. Sharp edges. Actually, that's not half bad. I think the sharp edges tool got a lot better. So yeah, actually, we might just stick with this. Get rid of that. We don't need that. Everything else actually looks pretty good. Get rid of those guys there. And these guys there. Actually, I want to keep these ones on the most outer edge just to make sure we maintain most of the shape. That actually looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and crease that. I really can't wait to see this thing sculpt and everything once it's in Skyrim. That's always my favorite part of the process. All right, let's check out our multi-res now. We have to redo it. Let's put another one on. I don't really love the multi-res modifier just because I feel like it's I don't know, it's just not my favorite really. I feel like it just fucks with your design a little bit too much for me. I usually just like scaling up as I go, but when you have open faces like this, you kind of can't. You can't just use the fuck, what's it called? It's the Control R tool, whatever that's called. I think it's remesh. Yeah, remesh. You can't use remesh, which it sucks a little bit. I'm also going to grab the statistics so we can kind of see what we're doing. All right, 100,000 is enough for us to get started at least. Uh-oh, what's going on here? Do I have extra faces in here or something? No, why are you doing that? Don't have any extra faces. That's odd. Maybe I just gotta pull out these corners here. This is why I don't really like the multi-res modifier. I feel like you have to do a lot more work to kind of just get to a base, like, sculpting point. Let's see here. Will that fix it? Not. I fixed it enough. It's good enough for us to go ahead and get started. Okay. Let's see. Start with... I'm always like this because my keyboard is over here, but I have buttons on the side of my drawing tablet that I often forget about. Oh yeah, I don't fuck with this at all. You know what? We're just going to... Let's hide that, and then I'm gonna do this. Let's get rid of all these creases. We don't need those. I think I'm just gonna use Dynatopo. It's not usually my favorite, but yes, I understand. Okay. Again, Dynatopo is not really my favorite because I feel like it's harder to get. Yeah, see, I feel like it's harder to get like an even coating. I might just honestly just fill in these faces over here just so I can use the tool that I do like. Because I like Dynatopo once you have some like more of the bigger details blocked out already. So it's, again, this is all just kind of a preference thing though. Let's do, nope, it's not gonna want me to do that. All right, then we'll bring this down to here. Put these two together, center, and then this should be good for me to do that. And then, what is that? We need 4 edges. Oh, it's 5. It's 5. We need 5 edges. Oh fuck! I hate doing this with a drawing pen. All right, and then we'll do that. And then we will do that. Now you can see why I originally was not super psyched to do it like this. It's just a lot of like tedious back and forth with the messing around with like the vertices and bringing in all these lines and stuff. But it is more worth it to make an easier sculpt. That's all. All right, and then I'm just going to merge by distance. Merge by distance. Such a nice tool. Such an unbelievably helpful tool. Then, oh shit, I forgot we have all this down here. You know what, actually, I don't think we needed to do any of that. I think because we're just remeshing, it'll just do most of that for us. The only other problem with remeshing too is that if you remesh too low, it'll like fucking eat up all of these things. And I might have a problem with these here as well. So, might have a problem with the teeth as well. It's a non-zero chance. It's gonna not like the teeth because they have open faces. Alright. I get a good look at these teeth. It's kind of hard though. Right there. Perfect. I think that should probably be good. Alright, then we go back to sculpting, and then we... That's way too high. That should be good. Remesh. Hey, you know, that's not so... Oh, fuck, I did that. That's the shit I'm talking about that I don't really like. I'll bring it up even higher. Oops. Whoa. And then Control R. I think this is a good starting point. This is good enough. This is basically flood filling for Dinotopo, but I just like doing it this way more. Actually, you know what? I might bring it up even higher. Oops. I like starting a little bit higher poly. It's just a me thing though. Alright, this should be a good starting point. So let's go ahead and bring in some of these creases again, because the big thing is that we want this looking like a finely crafted wooden throne. All right. A lot of that's going to be done in texture though. We mainly want to use some of our tools to sort of like carve out. Right. So we're not going to be carving up a lot necessarily. We're going to be carving out a lot. And then what do? We bring in the pinch. Let's change all the icons. It's so weird now. It's so far into me. Let's grab. Can I get a pinch? Can I get a pinch? Pinch? Where the hell is the pinch tool? I'm losing my marbles. Is this it? That's definitely not it. What the fuck is this? What is this doing? Oh, it's a scrape. Bring in a crease a little bit. Crease this out. And so the good thing about doing this in Sculpt is that it gives a little bit more of an organic feel to it. Instead of just modeling this like normal, it's kind of nice because I gotta start using the buttons on this. It's kind of nice because it will make it a little bit more organic looking, like it was actually handcrafted with like hand tools and stuff, because like, you know, even with today's tools, it's hard to get like a perfectly straight edge. Ask me how I know. I'm not the greatest woodworker, but I do still try. Most of this shit's gonna be covered by the pad anyway, so it's not really gonna matter so much. Really want the pinch tool. I don't know where it is. Layer. That's not it. My layer's not set up very high. Let's see here. Bring this up a little bit. Where is it? Strength's already at 1. Jesus. This kind of sucks. Let's see here. Pinch. There we go. We'll just bring some of that edge back. And then we're going to pinch over here too. And like I said, a lot of what we're going to be doing today is just adding like carvings onto it. There's also another tool that I really like in here that you'll probably see me using a lot. I'm going to be using the crease tool a lot, the sharp crease tool specifically, to take out like chunks like that. Where's my pinch? There it is. It's going to be kind of tough doing it this way. Sculpting all this out comes with its own set of challenges, you know, but I think it'll probably be fine. I want to build out his cheeks a little bit more too. Sculpting is really good for like organic stuff, but when it comes to high poly or like hard surface stuff, kind of like finely crafted wood like this, it has its own drawbacks that makes it a little bit more difficult, a little bit less desirable. Saw another viewer joined in chat. Thank you so much for joining on in. How are you doing today? Thank you. I appreciate you saying how cool it is. We're still working on it. It's only half the throne, but we're just gonna mirror it the other way. Right now we're carving in a lot of the details and stuff. I gotta bring this up to a little bit higher poly. Oop. And we're gonna bring it up a little bit. Yeah, 500,000 is kind of a lot for the stage that we're at here. I'm just trying to get some of these faces back a little bit. I also want to bring out its jaw a little bit more. You know, it's a dragon at the end of the day. Jaw is a pretty big, cool part of a dragon. We're going to... I was talking earlier how much I like using the remesh tool instead of just doing like normal Dynatopo, and a big part of that is just because it creates a lot more even geometry while you're trying to work on this, which is really nice. Just because uneven geometry, especially on hard surface stuff, can really suck. Really make your job about 1,000% more difficult than it needs to be. Alright, I'm looking over here at my references to get a sort of an idea of what we're looking for here. So I'm going to start blocking in some of the bigger like carving shapes that we're trying to achieve here. So the jaw's brought out a little bit. I might just use the grab tool to bring that sucker out way out. Let's see, is this the grab tool? Yes, it is. Again, they changed all my icons on me. It's kind of hard to tell. That's better. That is better. I know it looks kind of shitty, but this is one of these moments where we just kind of trust the process. Okay, I'm gonna bring this in. Soften this out so we can bring in our own edge. The one upside to Dynatopo is that it does bring in a lot of geometry where you need it more, instead of just flood filling it all in places where you're not really going to be using all that geometry. So it kind of helps save on the resolution of your sculpt. But at the end of the day, your sculpt is supposed to be really high resolution. It's just better to try and save, you know, some of that high resolution geometry where you can, just so it doesn't become hard to work with really, or like import anywhere. Import and export. So don't want your import and export times to be like an hour. That would suck. This tongue is probably going to be the bane of my existence if I'm not careful. See here, pinch. Bring out some of these edges again. So we don't want to lose the edges. That's a big part of this, like, I guess motif. This sort of style is hard edges. And I think a lot of them will probably come back as well once we get to the scraping. Like, where's my tool? I've been looking for it this whole time out of the corner of my eye trying to find it. I cannot find. Ooh, what's this? This is kind of new. Draw sharp. I kind of like that. We're probably going to be using that quite a bit. A lot of these finer details in the reference images, I'm probably going to be using Dentopo to pull those out, just because we're going to need really high resolution in like specific areas. A lot of these like bigger shapes here we can just pull out ourselves. Where's the pinch? Keep losing my tools. It's a fucking scrape tool. I just don't remember what it's called. Just making it even harder for me to find it. It's not blobs. It's not flatten. It's not plateau. It's not trim either. I don't know where the hell this tool is. Is it just scrape fill? That's definitely, that doesn't feel right. That's not it. Or maybe it is. I don't know. Like I said, they changed all my stuff on me. I feel like an old man every time I say that, but they did. They changed my tools. So now we're blocking out some of those more carved shapes that I'm going to be expanding on a little bit later. Ooh. I'm going to be expanding on a little bit later. Because we don't want this to look like a realistic dragon. That'd sort of ruin the whole point of it. We want it to look carved. We want it to look stylized in that way. You know, I'm realizing I probably could have put a little bit more time into making the low poly mesh. I might actually ditch the progress we've made here and go back because this is becoming a little bit more difficult to work with. Though it's not so bad. I might just rough it out. Just deal with some of this. I really wish I had my scrape tool. That'd make me a very happy guy right now. I need to find that. Also, I feel like a lot of these... Did they just change it to trim? Because this feels like the tool I'm looking for a little bit. Not quite, but it's closer. No, that's definitely not it. It's just like a scrape off the top sort of deal. I feel like it's going to be one of these. This is probably the one that's felt closest to it, so that's the one I'm going to use. Although it's not very strong. Let's bring up its strength a little bit. That's better. And then check the chat. I think these horns are probably going to be the hardest part. Might not be able to keep their more square shape. Might round them out a little bit. That's the hard part with sculpting, is that edges like to get lost. But I don't want to lose these ones necessarily. They're a big part of the design. I'll just round it out a little bit. Ooh, wow, that was a lot. And so this tool is going to be instrumental in ensuring that we are able to get some more of that carved look. Like, you can see here, oh god. This is, you can see here, it looks like chunks were taken out in the carving process. It's just kind of the look that you would get before you like sand it all down, right? So that's kind of what we're going for. That's kind of what we're trying to capture here. Alright. Oh, fuck. I love Pure Ref, but I kind of hate moving its window around. There we go. Alright. I'm going to pull out the tongue a little bit, too. Pulling out the tongue, y'all. No, not pull. I want the grab tool. Where's the grab tool? Grab. The grab tool is really good for reshaping stuff that accidentally gets lost in the sculpt. Then the inflate tool is really good for adding geometry back where you accidentally take away too much. Story of my life. I'm the king of taking away too much geometry and then needing to put some back. Some of these more jagged parts are going to be harder to carve out before we add in more geometry with like Dinosaur or something. Because like that's the big thing with a sculpt is that you're trying to figure out where you can add geometry and where you should probably not. Bring out these horns a little bit more. I also want to carve in the eye soon as well, just so I don't lose space for it. So I can carve the rest of the features kind of around it. Sculpting is always usually my favorite part. I say always and then usually. Is almost always, though, my favorite part of the process, even though it can be the most difficult, because this is where all of the details and all of like the work that you did before is leading up to is the sculpt. And if you fuck up the sculpt, then you kind of have to restart completely. Like, you just have to keep working on it and working on it until the sculpt looks right. So without a good sculpt, you have nothing to texture, you have nothing to map, you know? So, gotta be careful with it. Not careful, but you just gotta watch it. You know, making sure that you're doing, you know, whatever you can to make the best sculpt you can. We're gonna go back to our pinch tool, bring out some of these finer edges. Oh. This is going to be the nice one. Oh, yeah. Bring that edge back. Make her pretty. Yeah, see, this is starting to look right. Again, this is always just like a trust the process sort of thing. Even I don't trust the process half the time, but when I do, I am usually handsomely rewarded. Patience is a virtue, as I always say. I think I came up with that term, or that saying. I think I did that probably. I'm always saying it. Forming some of these edges again, because again, they get lost a lot when you're always going to be going over these edges over and over again, like the harsher ones, just to make sure that when you're sculpting, you don't lose sort of that hard surface look. So at the end of the day, even though this is like wood and not like metal or some shit, it is still hard surface modeling, because we're doing a lot less like organics here. See, this edge is completely lost. I need to bring it back somehow. And then this is where I use my, what the fuck was it called? Trim? No, this was the flatten tool. Let's bring some of that back, like that. That's good. Bring some of that back. And bring some of that back. It's looking good. I'm actually really liking this so far. I'm gonna unsquarify this, make it more into a point. So at the end of the day, you want to follow the reference, but you don't want to just copy what you see. You want to make it your own. I'm gonna use the grab tool to sort of form this horn a little bit more how I want it. Oops, grab tool's a little bit big. Then we're gonna bring back the... What the fuck is this plateau tool? Oh, I don't like that. Bring a little bit back to our flatten. And we're gonna scrape some of this shit off. Smooth it out. And then scrape it off. These horns are probably going to get a lot of work back and forth, adding and subtracting from them throughout the timeline of the sculpt here. I don't know if we'll finish the full sculpt today. I was talking how I wanted to get into fucking texturing today, but I'm not even sure that we're going to get out of sculpting today. I'm hoping we will, though. Hoping we will. I don't like doing, like super, fucking, 5-hour live streams. I'm more of a 2 hours and we're chilling sort of guy. Gotta take a drink though. How long we been at it? Paul, I just realized whenever I set my cup down, it's probably loud as hell. Where are we at? 32 minutes? God, time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Gotta add back some of this clay, some of this body to this. Put in that scrape too early. We were not at that stage yet. Now I gotta bring it back. Flatten tool, flatten out this side, flatten out this side, just to get some of that edge back. And then this isn't going to be like exact or anything. Like they're not going to be matching exactly on either side. Just because I don't have a mirror modifier or like a mirror tool for this. But that's okay. It's kind of nice that they won't match on either side just because it adds more of that handcrafted look. Because if I was crafting this by hand, if my hands were crafting this, I would not be able to I mean, my hands are crafting this. I'm not able to perfectly match it. So, I think it's okay. I'm not going to complain too much. Because I could have, if I really wanted to, I could have, wow. That's a very misshapen skull. Okay, so we're going to have to fix that before I forget to do it. Let's bring out some clay here. Is that better? Now it's way too much. I don't remember what I was saying. That is my plague. I start a sentence and then just can't finish it. This is my favorite tool, this right here, the clay strip, or is it just the clay buildup that I like? It's just the clay buildup that I like. What the hell's wrong with me? Wait, no, I think it's the strips. The strips, I like the strips more. See, this side of the draw I like. This side of the draw is all fucked up. Then we're going to, where's that flag? Let's see here. What does that sound? I'll be right back. There's that weird sound. Give me 1 second. We have returned. We're back. Where's my... There it is. My dryer. This fucking sucks. So, there's the drum of your dryer. It's doing it again. Nope, it's done. There's the drum of the dryer. And then there's the faceplate of the dryer. And sometimes things will get stuck between the drum and the faceplate. And so, whenever it goes around, it hits on something and makes this loud-ass clicking. Very not fun. It's not my favorite. This dryer, it's nice having it, but oh my god. I should have just bought one new. I bought it used from this like fix-em-up appliance place. And it's also partially my fault that they're the way they are. Or not the way they are, but that I don't have a better dryer. Because they did have like a, if you return it within a month, you know, if you have any issues and return it within a month, we'll just swap it out for a different one of your choice. And I noticed this before that month was over, or before that month was up, so I did have the chance to switch it out, but I was just like, it's not that bad of a problem, I'm not going to deal with it. I mean, because I was like, it's a small business, I don't want to be taking more of their inventory or whatever. Man, I wish I had switched it out. It's a more annoying issue than I thought it would be. But it's fine. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Alright, let's bring in some more of this jaw here. That's not my strips tool. Alright, let's pull out the pinch. Alright, and then I want to pull this clay strips back. Do a little bit of crease here. Bring out some of that butt chin a little bit. Dragon's always got a butt chin, always. I feel like that's kind of standard if you're making a dragon. I don't know why, but they always got a little bit of a butt chin. I think it's like a reptilian thing in general, though. I feel like reptiles always got that big chin going on. Or what do I know? I'm not a reptile guy. I have a friend who's really into reptiles. He's got like a lizard and shit. Really likes lizards and such. I'm not a big lizard guy. I think they're a little bit slimy for my liking. I like frogs. They're pretty cool. Toads, like them guys, they're funny. Nothing better than a toad, just chilling. Wish I was a toad sometimes. That would rock, just being able to chill out on a lily pad all day. Or that's more of a frog thing. Isn't the difference between a frog and a toad is that like, a toad is usually like on land and less aquatic? Because I feel like frogs are way more... Well, then you also got, like, tree frogs and shit. And they just live in trees, so I'm assuming they're not much for the water, are they? If anybody knows frog facts, please leave them in the comments. Not a frog guy. I'm not a biologist, I don't know these things. My wife went to school for biology. She's going to be a doctor, actually. Like an ER doctor. I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know how you do that. That sounds really hard. I went to art school because I'm not very smart. No offense to all my homies in art school. Alright, I think that's good enough on the horns for now. I'm gonna keep fucking with them, hold on. Alright, that's good enough on the horns for now. We gotta really start building out the rest of this. Let's do a little bit of that. And a little bit of that. Yeah, that's better. Alright. And then we'll flatten this out, flatten that out. I want to square up this jaw a little bit, make it kind of cool. Yeah, that's not so bad. Let's bring back some more of that squareness to the jaw. Alright, you know what? That's good enough. Let me start actually carving the features now to make this a little bit less stupid looking. Oh shit. What's going on here? Ruh-roh, where are we? Get out of there. Okay. Worst part is, I'm gonna have to do this all again on this guy. I might actually just chop him off when I'm done and just stick him up there. There's a non-zero chance that's gonna happen. Just because I don't know how much I want to recarve all this, to be honest with you. Work smarter, not harder. I always say that. I think I coined that phrase too. I think I'm the first one to say that. Probably. Most likely. I come up with a lot of good phrases like that. I don't know how much I like that. I think I actually would like it if it comes in like this a little bit more. I think that would be cool. Would that be cool? I'm gonna probably do some carvings on the side too. I actually want to keep that edge. I like that. Flatten, flatten. Bring back the pinch tool real quick. Spread that out. Bring back the pinch tool. All right, cool. Let's get these features in. I'm sick of looking at this blobby guy. Let's start with the nose. We're gonna start with the general shape of the nose. Let's pull out the flatten. Flatten this out. We're going to be bringing some more material back in. And we'll do a little bit of this. Right now it doesn't seem like there's going to be a lot of room for like what you call it, like details and stuff, but we're gonna throw on Dynatopo here towards the end and really get in some of these like finer details. Right now we're just trying to get all the big shapes in. I've always liked the cat lip look on dragons. I think it's cool. I think that's more of like a Chinese thing though. I don't care. I'm adding it. This is my Skyrim. This is my world I'm creating. See, this is starting to look like something. Then we'll go ahead and add in some more of these carved bits, some more of these bigger statements. You know what I've been watching recently? The 100. I watched it years ago when it was still like a popular show that was like still coming out. I still watched it on Netflix. I think I started watching it when it was like on season 5, and then I just continued to follow it until it was all the way done. And at the time, I thought it was like one of the greatest shows ever created. And I still think it's a really good show. But, this is a big but, I don't think it is as good as I thought it was originally. Because, like, here's the thing. I feel like the writers are really scared of... Actually, caveat. I think Season 1 and Season 2 have this problem. But I think they really fixed that in Season 3, this problem in Season 3. Where I felt like the writers were really, really scared to kill any character. Like, any, like, even remotely notable character. And those of you more familiar with the show are going to say, hey, Noah, well, what about Finn? He was a pretty... If you haven't... Spoilers. If you haven't seen the show. You're going to say, what about Finn? He died at the end of Season 2, and that was, like, the whole big thing. It's like, yeah, but that was, like, a pivotal, like, big moment. What about Jaha? That dude has died, like, 12 times and come back literally every time. Like, the one time I really thought, I was like, okay, finally, this is the end of Jaha, when he was literally stranded in space. No way of getting home. They were like, oh, wait, no, there's a way home. He can get to Earth. He's fine. It's like, come on, dude. Come on. Like, let your characters die. And then there's another one. There's another big character death fake out. Oh, yeah, John Murphy, when they were going to hang him. I'm glad they didn't, because he actually ends up becoming one of my favorite characters in the show. I like him quite a bit, especially in Season 3. I like his whole thing with Antari. Or Mori, not Antari. Antari's the evil one. The evil Nightblood. I like his whole thing with Amori. I think they're a very cute couple. I like them a lot. I think they're also probably bad for each other since actually they're perfect for each other because they're both gonna do crime anyways. They just do it together, which is like fine. If they want to do crime together, I'm not gonna stop them. Who am I to say no? But I do feel like they solved that issue a lot in Season 3 because like Pike dies and somebody else dies. I mean, like Antari dies, and that was a pretty big important death. And then what else? Who else dies? I remember there's more important people that die that season. Kane was gonna... Oh, Lincoln! That's a huge one. That's actually a huge... I really thought they were faking us out there with Lincoln's death. I really thought they were just gonna be like, oh, he's gonna die, and then at the last second someone was gonna come and save him like it always does. But they didn't. They didn't. That's the thing. They actually let him die, and it like became an important part of the conflict within what's her face? Octavia for the rest of the season for her. Which there wasn't a whole lot of season left for her to like be dealing with that, but I think in Season 4 there's gonna, because I don't remember like any of the show, which is why I decided to rewatch it. Now I just finished Season 3 last night. I think it'll probably end up continuing to be a pretty big part of her character, because even though she gets the recompense from killing Pike, I feel like one theme they've been awful, like the writers have been awfully consistent about, is that like death doesn't actually like pay for life, even though that's like their whole thing. Death doesn't actually pay for life. It's like that's something you have to find within sort of deal, which I like. I think it's cool. I think it's a nice theme. Though I don't think any character has figured that out yet. I think what's her name? Clark. I think she's sort of starting to figure that out because she's like says it a bunch, but then she also like likes killing people still. So that's a tough one. I think Bellamy also is starting to figure it out after slaughtering all those people, but again, not really. He's not really the most forward-thinking guy. Not a very smart dude. Sort of just like a stupid himbo grunt. Even though, like, I feel like they try and play him as pretty smart, I don't see it. I don't think Bellamy's very smart. I think he's kind of stupid and really easily manipulated. It's not even just the Pike thing. He's just, like, easily manipulated in general. Like, in the earlier seasons, he's manipulated by Clark a lot, which is, like, was a good thing at the time. And, like, he does, like, have his own thing going on. I can't wait for, like, the one other person who's watching this video who has seen the 100 to hopefully comment something, so I'm not just shouting my opinions about this show to the void. It's a good show, though. If you haven't watched it, really seriously consider watching it. It's on Netflix. It's a great show. Great show. I feel like this is starting to come together. I feel like this is starting to look pretty cool. Again, we got the cat nose thing. I just love a good cat nose on a dragon. I don't know why. I'm going to bring in some more of these details here because I like these. I think they add a lot of texture. This is starting to look pretty cool in my opinion. Might not add eyes. I can't really think of a good place to add them in, because that looks kind of squashed to me. Well, maybe it's not so bad. I think I'm gonna have to bring in Dinotopo before I can really add those in though. There isn't a lot of room to add them in. Tablets off center. If anyone's curious what drawing tablet I use, I think I have a list of all of my specs. Actually, I don't think that's up to date anymore because I just got this to the computer. Let me double check my YouTube. Because I know in my YouTube description, I have the specs for a lot of the stuff that I use and like a whole list of all like the programs and stuff that I use. But I don't know if I listed like, oh god, that's so loud. You can't hear it, but it's so loud. I don't have all of my stuff that I use. I should probably list that out in my about section because I have all the software that I use, but I don't have all of the stuff that I use. One moment.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you. God's smile on them who show charity, lest you remember that.
I don't suppose you're going to buy something in this town?
Just browsing. If the gods be kind, someone will take mercy on me and spare a few settlers.
If they do, promise you'll actually purchase something for once.
By Eastmere, I will. God knows it's been too long since I tasted real meat. For that, thank you, Harlan. Thank you. That's right. Mock the town beggar like everyone else. But I've got a right to proud, don't I? For God's smile on them who show charity, lest you remember that.
I don't suppose you're going to buy something this time?
Just browsing there. If the gods be kind, someone will take mercy on me and spare a few settlers.
If they do, promise you'll actually purchase something for once.
By Eastmere, I will. Gods know it's been too long since I tasted real meat. Thank you, Carla. Thank you.
Alright, gang. Sorry about that. My dad stopped in to tell me some information. But we are back. We are back. We're so back. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do on top of this guy. It's probably going to be the hardest part. Actually, I think I don't know what I'll do. I think I know exactly what I'll do. There's that there. And bridge these together. I don't want to do too many of these. I think I'm going to be doing another pattern on this, like a Celtic or Norse pattern. Celtic and Norse patterns are like similar enough that like, I mean, I am not going to stress about it. Skyrim itself uses a lot of like Celtic patterns, like traditionally like Celtic symbols and stuff, just because like they look similar enough and most people don't really know the difference, so you can kind of just get away with it. Which that's what I'm banking on. Let's see. Do the pinch. Alright, this is starting to look kind of good. I'm starting to fuck with this heavy, as they say. think I'm probably just gonna do big patterns on the side, big carvings on the side, something like. I'm gonna need Dine Topo for this. Yeah, definitely gonna need Dine Topo for this. I wanna do big relief. Probably just straight like that. Then we'll do it around this edge too, or whatever. Do it like that. And then, I don't know, I'll fill this space in with something. Probably not gonna fill it all in with something, but it'll be good. I don't know why I'm doing all that. I gotta get rid of that anyways. Alright, and I'm gonna flatten it. Flatten that guy out. Looks good. Looks really good. Liking it. Liking it quite a lot. One other thing I was just thinking about, actually, is we're going to harken back to the TV show that only I've watched and nobody else has. But Abby, Clark's mom, I'm going to be straight up, she's a fucking bad mom. Like, she's a really bad mom. She's just like, I don't know. Like, not even just her sending her kid to an irradiated Earth on the chance that she maybe survives. Not that it was entirely her choice, but, like, she had say in it. But also just the fact that, like, I don't know, I feel like she doesn't really care for Clark that much. Like, she says she cares, and she, like, kind of shows that she cares, but a lot of her actions are just, like, I don't know. They don't feel very much like Clark's best interest. And I feel like when she's, like, gone most of the time, like, she's always saying, like, you can't go out and do this, it's too dangerous, I can't lose you again. But then Clark leaves and she just sort of just, like, does not really care that she's gone. Not that she should be, like, weeping the whole time that Clark is gone or anything, and, you know, being like, oh, woe is mine daughter. But I don't know, she just feels very, very not great mom material. That's just me, though. That is just me, though. Alright. I think this is good. Actually, why the fuck am I messing with that? I'm not keeping that. I'm going to chop that off and put this one on there. What is wrong with me? It's actually going to be kind of tough, though, because I'm going to have to, like, re-rotate it. If I want to do that, which is not going to be super fun or cool or fun or cool. It's a problem for future though. I want to flatten this out too. I'm really liking this. You know, every single time you start a sculpt, you're like, oh, I don't know how much I like this. This is looking kind of bad. But with any piece of art, just gotta trust the process. And it will turn out just fine, usually. Sometimes. Most of the time. Sometimes. But this one's turning out pretty good. I'm liking it. I'm liking the direction it is in. Oh, shit. I'd like to do something like that, but I need a straighter line. There's not a good way to do a really straight line. in Blender sculpting. That is something that has irked me for a very long time, is that straight lines, very, very hard to do. I know you have the stability feature that I was just about to pull up, but even that's not that great. TBH, it's not that great. I wish, like in Photoshop, you could just like, you click one point and then you hold down shift and then you click another point and just fucking straight line, but you can't do that. So we're gonna do stroke. I complain about this software endlessly, but it's honestly such a good piece of software. Oh, wait a sec. I was literally just complaining about fucking nothing. You can do it. All these years. All these years. What's wrong with me? I am such a complainer. They call me Noah the Complainer. Straight up, what the hell is wrong with me? It's existed this whole time. I've complained endlessly about that issue. I just look one time at the stroke and it's like, oh, it's right there. That's fine. That's fine, no big deal, it's right there. This is why you guys should never listen to me. You should just do things yourself, because I'm a bad example. I wonder how many other issues that I have that Blender has already solved and I'm just too stupid to figure it out. Probably a lot. Probably a lot of issues. TBH. Flat plane, right there. I wonder, can I just switch this to stroke? Or line? Sure can. What if I just... Nope, not the move. Okay, now I need to do it on this side. This is still not being flat. That's okay. I think once I get all the patterns on it, it's not even gonna matter. Not even gonna matter. Where's it? There it is. Let's go ahead and check that shit out. And smooth out those edges. Apologize if I'm being more quiet this stream than normal. Not because I don't like talking to you guys, just because I don't know, there's not a whole lot to say when it comes to the sculpting process. It's just kind of gotta enjoy it. It's gotta be one of those things that you're just like, yeah, I'm into this. Yeah, I'm having fun. That's me. I'm just having fun with this. I'm just enjoying my time sculpting. God, this dragon head's looking sick. It's looking very cool. I'm really liking it. go ahead and see somebody just popped in. How you doing? How you doing? Appreciate you stopping by. I don't always shout out everybody that comes in because half the time I probably miss it. But I do appreciate you coming in, saying hi, seeing what's up. Oh, that's not right. That's not what I was looking for. There we go. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this sculpt here. I think this one is looking pretty good. It's going out pretty nice, if you ask me. I'm a little biased though, so probably don't ask me. Alright, I think I'm going to be turning on Dynatopo here in a second, just so we can start getting some of these finer details in. Because, like, a lot of the details I'm going to be adding, especially back here, that's all just going to be Dynatopo pretty much. I also have some pattern brushes that I'm going to be using. Would like to do a little bit of one of these. Sort of part of my plan here is put this back to space so we can, nope, it's not a very smooth line. Gotta get in the zone, gotta get my gamer hunch in. So you draw a good line. Gotta gamer hunch it. Up. There we go. That looks pretty not horrible. Is this the move? Is this, did I do moves? Nah, that's good. That is good. We will go ahead and grab this and pull this sucker a little bit down. A little bit down. Oh, I see we've got a couple viewers coming on in. Thanks for stopping by. How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? Hope you're enjoying the sculpt. Right now, we are working on a throne. The Throne of Whiterun. It's I'm working on a new mod for Skyrim right now. It's also a little bit behind the scenes of my upcoming video, where this this throne will be taking center stage on. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make furniture for Skyrim. I think it'll be pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. How's everyone doing today on this fine Tuesday afternoon? I'm realizing now it's probably becoming lunchtime for a lot of people. Stopping in, saying hi during their 9 to 5. Sorry, I just had to make a rhyme. I don't know if I've ever had this many viewers at the same time. Appreciate you guys coming on in. You guys all came in on a great day because the sculpting is my favorite part of creating models. Personally, I'm a big sculpting guy. I feel like this is just where the real unique parts of the piece come out, when you get to really add in all your own little details. Love to know if anybody else who's viewing right now is a fellow 3D artist, somebody who's a little bit interested in it. Obviously, all of you guys are probably at least a little bit interested in it, otherwise you wouldn't have showed up. But I appreciate you guys coming in, checking it out. Yesterday was the blockout stream. We blocked this sucker out, and we got it into game just to make sure that its height and everything was good. But today, like I said, we're doing the sculpt, making sure we get all those details in. It actually came in at a perfect time because I got most of the major shapes blocked out that I wanted for this, and I was just about to throw on Dynatopo, and we were about to get some of these smaller, finer details in, and that's where the beauty really begins, in my opinion. The real fun starts. Also probably gonna have to pull out a couple of my brushes that I use. Alright, I just realized I have not saved this whole time. If my Blender crashed right there, we would have lost out on this hour and 20 minutes of work. That would have sucked. But alrighty. Let's go ahead and throw on Dynatopo. Yes. gonna set this to constant detail. I never remember if higher is better. I think higher is better. All right, let's go ahead and start getting in some detail. Oh, wrong brush. Let's see here. Let's add in a ball, eyeball. Nice. Pulling good lines here, pulling good lines. I used to be a tattoo artist. My lines would probably make you all very worried. Probably a good thing I am not a tattoo artist anymore. Actually, I would say I was a pretty decent one. I really liked tattooing when I did it. But it's the culture that's around it. Like from a artist perspective, I feel like there's a lot of gatekeeping in tattooing, which really sucks. Because it's such a cool art form for artists to learn, and I feel like there's not enough tattooers, to be honest. Not enough artists doing it. There's too many of the shitty ones that are just in it for the profit of, being it, because it's very profitable to be a tattoo artist. Especially if you own the shop. But there's not enough good artists who actually just really want to learn the art of it. There's a lot of scratchers out there. If you don't know, scratchers is the term for well, generally it's used as a term for people who tattoo out of their house and stuff, but specifically at my shop where I was tattooing, we refer to scratchers mainly as just bad artists or artists that didn't even really care, because there's a difference between a bad artist and an artist somebody who's learning and still not the greatest, and somebody who doesn't actually care to learn and is just doing it solely for the money aspect. And that's not to say that artists shouldn't get paid. I'm the biggest advocate of artists making their bag, so to speak. I feel like every artist should make a lot more than they do, because art is such a hard thing to get good at, and it takes so many years of practice and skill to be able to get to any amount of notoriety for being an artist. But I've said this before, and I'll say it a million times again. Right now, in our Lord's year 2025, is as it's been so far, the hardest time to make money as an artist. Let me explain, because that doesn't sound right to a lot of people, but I genuinely think it is right. In the early 2000s and all the way up to it, I'd say about 2015 is when this really started becoming apparent, started really becoming an issue, is that the internet was a great way, and still is, to make money from your art, right? So if you're an artist, taking commissions online is one of the best ways to be able to make decent money from your art, because of collecting my thoughts. It's the best way. It's a really good way to make art, because there's a lot of people who you'd be able to connect with and make them into your customer base that you wouldn't have been able to do before, because you live far away, or they live in a different country, or whatever. And the internet bridges us and allows us to get these clients that we would have never been able to get before. But here's the thing. In 2015, let's just say 2010, for example, because I don't think the early 2000s is the best example of this, but let's say 2010. I feel like that's a really good time period to talk about what I'm kind of talking about here. I feel like 2010 was the best time to be an artist and to try and make a living, because the internet was still kind of in its Wild West period. Everyone was still kind of figuring it out. It was old enough to the point where like a lot of people knew how to use it, and a lot of people were like using it like pretty safely, and you were able to like connect with people pretty well. But it wasn't oversaturated quite yet. It was starting to become oversaturated, and you had, you know, your issues of like having to like stand out and stuff. But like also social media was at its height. Like it was really peaking during that time. And like TikTok is still a big thing nowadays, and I guess Instagram is too, but I feel like one of the problems is that Instagram is just bot central. Every fucking account on Instagram is a goddamn bot. Every comment that you get is just a fucking bot. And it kind of goes back to this, I think it's called like dead internet theory or something, where basically the internet is going to turn into a place where it is just bots talking to each other. Bots creating all the content, bots consuming the content and leaving all like the comments on it to feed or to like feed their own algorithm, or to create like false engagement to like drive it to more consumers. And it's so fucked up, but you can see it happening. Like, go on fucking Quora nowadays. That is literally, Quora is just a site where bots create content, question, like answering questions, like creating the questions, then answering the questions, and then talking to each other about the questions. It's fucking bizarre to see, because you can't find a single like real person on Quora. Quora used to be kind of cool because you like get people who were like at least, you know, like somewhat knowledgeable, or like very knowledgeable in a lot of cases about what they were talking about, because like there was like the certification, there's like the certification route of it. And like even the people who are on Quora nowadays, a lot of them that like are certified, you know, whatevers, and they got like doctor next to their name, or like PhD biologist or whatever, a lot of those accounts have been like sold to them, because if you don't know, Quora, you can make money from answering questions. You got to answer a lot of fucking questions to make any amount of like decent money. But there were some people at its height that were making like full-time livings off of just answering questions on Quora, because they would pay you a percentage of their advertisement money, of the money that they would get from advertisements. Kind of like how the Nexus works, where they have like a big pool of money and then they pay you out of that pool based off of how much, like, I guess if we're going by the Nexus example, your mods contributed to like ad money collection, or just like how popular they were or whatever. Quora kind of worked the same way, where they would just pay you out based off of that. Like based off of how many questions you answered, and how much you were just like providing to the community and to the website, right? And it doesn't do that anymore, because, you know, for obvious reasons. Or I guess I think it might still, honestly, it might still do that. But there was a time where people were selling, when it was becoming less profitable and like more difficult to keep up with these bots, people were selling their accounts that were like verified with a like a I'm a doctor sticker or whatever, because like I don't know if you get more money. I'm not like super familiar with it, but I don't know if you'd get like more money if you had like, if you were like verified to be like actually like knowledgeable enough to really be answering these questions that people had. But a big thing was that people would sell these accounts that were like more official looking, and like to people like who were creating bots and shit. And then these like official accounts would just be AI bots that were fucking like wrong about a lot of stuff, to be honest. And that's why Quora is like a cesspool of like just like these weird fucking questions that like are, that like are asked by bots just to get people to like click on Quora and be like, what the fuck is this? You'll get questions like, I pooped my pants, am I gonna die now? And then you get like a ton of bots being like, actually, there's no research to suggest that you're gonna die if you poop your pants, so go right ahead and poop your pants. And then you get a couple others that are like, yeah, you're gonna die in like 10 minutes, you should go see a doctor. And it's literally just all like fucking clickbait stuff, because you also, the more like engagement you get on your posts, obviously the better it is for you as like a creator on Quora. So it's kind of the same thing that happened to like Yahoo Answers, if anyone remembers that. I remember when Yahoo Answers got shut down. It was one of the saddest days of my life. I loved going on that shit when I was like 13 and trolling. Not even trolling, just like reading all the funny comments and stuff and like giving some of my own. I guess that is kind of technically trolling, but it's like the same thing that happened to that, but instead of it being like a purely like I'm just fucking around, this is just like a funny thing, it became like it's like a monetizable like fucking around. But it's not fucking around, it's robots tricking you into clicking on something absolutely ridiculous and then getting freaked out about whatever it is, or like just getting like angry, like this is so stupid, why is this here? And then the dead internet theory is becoming more and more true, and it is kind of scary to be witness to it, especially in a time of like growing AI and stuff. But this all leads back to my original point, I feel, of I should become a YouTube essayist. I shouldn't. I'm really bad at this. But it all comes back to my point of 2010 was the best time to be an artist on the internet, because it wasn't so oversaturated. It wasn't, bots on every single fucking social media website. Like, you had actual people that you could tangibly reach out to, or like reach with like your art and show off, and they would say, okay, maybe I'll commission this person. Maybe I want some art done, and maybe I'll have them do it because I really like their style or whatever. I just found them on the Explore page, or like searching through one of my favorite hashtags. And you know what? I like them enough that I'll commission them. I was looking for an artist for, whatever anyways. And so that was the best time to be an artist, because it wasn't so oversaturated that there was like a million fucking artists trying to, make their mark and make their bag. There were a lot less, and because there was a lot less, you actually stood a chance at making something, at becoming something. You even see it now with YouTubers, like the animation storytime channels, like Jane Animations, and that one guy with the devil cartoon that's like in the red hoodie or whatever he is. Odd Ones Out being the biggest one, the one who kind of pioneered a lot of it. Even though he wasn't the first one to do it or anything, he did pioneer a lot of like what we see now, and like a lot of where that came from. But even with guys like those, and I'm not saying they don't like deserve all the like notoriety that they got, because like they're very talented creators, but I just mean it insofar as you have titans in these niches, right? No one really can compete with your Odd Ones Out or Illy Animations or Illy Nations is her name, or fucking like Jane Animations or whatever, just because they are so big. They have teams of people working on these animations now. I don't know if Illy does, but I know Jaden has her own her own team. The Odd Ones Out has a fucking huge team that you can see in his credits and stuff, or at least when I was watching him years ago. I don't know if it's even the same, but like this harkens back to years ago. And I'm not saying this is like a bad thing for those creators. They deserve to have what they worked so hard for, because it was a lot of work for them. I understand that. I just think the problem is that it's really hard to be an artist now and reach that same popularity because there's so many people trying to do it. Filling your niche with not shit, but some of it's shit, some of it's really good content, but there's just so much of it. And it almost sounds like Noah, you're really complaining about having too much content to watch. Not really. No, I don't think it's a bad thing at all that there's so much content out there, or so many content creators. I think it's a great thing that so many people want to do this. It's just all I'm trying to say is that it's really hard to do it. It's really hard to do it and get good at it and not get good at it, but get recognized for it. Become one of the people that get to do this full time or whatever. I only do this full time because I'm disabled, and this is one of the things that, like, one of the reasons why I go so long in between posting videos and stuff is just because my disability makes it very difficult to. But I'm able to take those breaks, right? And so, like, technically this is like my full-time like job, but I don't really make very much money off of this or anything. I just do it because I really like to do it, and you know, when I'm able to do it, I spend as much time as I can doing so. Which is why you usually see like spurts of me uploading a ton of content at once. I'm trying to get more regular with it as I'm, you know, getting on medications that are helping me, and like making my quality of life a little bit better and like a little bit easier to like continue these things. But it's so hard. But anyways, there's just a lot of people who aspire to do this full time, and it's very difficult for them to do so because there's such an oversaturation of content out there that they have hardly any chance of standing out. And I'm lucky enough that I spent a really long time and I found a niche that works for me, that I can work in. There's not a lot of people making modding content. I genuinely think there should be more, contrary to everything I just said. I do think that we need more modders because modding is one of those few things right now where game artists still have their voice and still can make their impact. I feel like modding, even though it's so much bigger than it used to be, is still so unattainable for so many people that it's not oversaturated yet. You can make such a big impact in the modding community just by releasing a few pretty decent like weapon mods for Skyrim or Fallout or whatever. Just because there's so few people who can do it. It's such a difficult thing to do because you have to learn how to use archaic tools and actually get good at using them. And so that's why I created my channel is to try and, you know, make it a little bit more accessible to people. That's a big thing, because like accessibility in the modding community is not really there, but it should be. It should be more accessible to people, and I think it's important that, you know, we get more people into modding because this is how we keep the games that we love alive. Skyrim, I hate to say it. Skyrim, Fallout 4, Morrowind, they would have died years ago if not for their extensive modding community. Not like no one would be playing them nowadays, because they're still great games that like people would be playing, but not to the scale that people are doing it now. That's why games like fucking Zomboid still exist. I think the only game that I can think of that has really extensive, somewhat accessible modding that like genuinely died out, I'm sure there's quite a few, but I guess the ones that I was most involved in is like Gary's Mod. That game fucking collapsed, which is really sad to see. I was actually just talking about this with a friend the other day. It is so sad to see the downfall of Gary's Mod. It really is. I feel like it was such an interesting time to be on the internet, to be a gamer. If you played Gary's Mod, you understand. There was nothing else quite like it. And there's nothing like it today. I do have my nostalgia glasses on a little bit. It had its issues. Racism being probably the biggest. You had like 1943 RPs and shit. And I know at least one of those servers still exists because I just saw it the other day when my friend hopped on Gary's Mod just to like check out, the current state of it. But it's like there was just there was just nothing like it. It was so unique. It still is so unique. And it created such an interesting community of modders and people who would spend tons of time and tons of their resources into just making really cool stuff, really cool mods, really, fun servers, new niches of like games. Trouble in Terrorist Town, TTT, that whole format of game came from Gary's Mod. That's where it was popularized. That's where it became a big thing. And now, like, Pavlov, its like biggest game mode is its version of Trouble in Terrorist Town. Pavlov's biggest game mode would not exist if it wasn't for Gary's Mod. It has left such a huge impact on the game industry that I don't really think a lot of people understand the like complete scale of. Even to this day, there's huge YouTubers who still make content just like talking about like Gary's Mod maps and stuff like that. It's really neat. It's really, really neat. There's one in particular that talks about like a lot of Source Engine stuff. I don't remember what his name is off the top of my head. He's got like a purple profile picture. He's on YouTube. It's really cool. I watched a couple of his videos about like Gary's Mod maps and stuff, and like old like Gary's Mod animations and shit. And it's just so interesting. It's just so unique and so cool. So I love Gary's Mod. I have a soft place in my heart for Gary's Mod, even despite its issues. That's all to say. I think modding is such an interesting niche, such an interesting community that really just kind of got, that's so inaccessible to so many people, and that were it more accessible, some of these great games that sadly died out or just like lost so much of their player base, it's probably wouldn't have otherwise. We need more modders keeping these games alive. Witcher 3 is a really good example of that, actually. Witcher 3 just got its dev tools last year. After like a decade of being out or close to it. Just got its dev tools. I still haven't really fucked around with the red kit very much yet, but I really want to. I really want to learn more about it. I really want to make a video on it. I think it's about time CD Projekt Red finally released dev tools for it. I think they were only doing it because they're probably losing money or something. Because it took them it's their most popular game. It is such a huge game. Dude, the modding community for fucking Cyberpunk was huge right off the bat. They were missing out for so many years. If their dev tools, and not to say like The Witcher 3 became some unpopular niche nobody knows about a game or whatever, it was still always very popular. But it lost a lot of its player base. A lot of their like, because like nobody was like doing, whole new playthroughs or anything. And it lost a lot of it just solely because it didn't have mod tools. But if it had to have mod tools at its peak, it would still, I guarantee its player base would be probably triple what it is now. And it's growing a lot of its player base again because, you have the tools, you have a lot more like new content coming out for it that people are getting excited about, that people are creating. That's a great thing. That's a really great thing. But I think just them having to rebuild all of it is something that could have been avoided if they had released mod tools sooner. Because like it's not like modding wasn't a big thing back then. They knew how big modding was. Like Bethesda already had quite a few games out by that point. Bethesda games being like the biggest to mod, not the only ones being modded, but I'd say the most mainstream. If you were to ask me. I think even today Bethesda mods are definitely the most, or Bethesda games are definitely the most like mainstream modded. I mean, because just their years and like wealth of content that's been created, but also just because I think even though the tools aren't perfect and they have a lot of issues, they are the most easily accessible to the average person. It's not to say they are easily accessible, but I think it's far easier for somebody to teach themselves how to make a Skyrim mod than to learn how to code and make like a Stardew Valley mod or some shit, because like there's really no coding involved for most of the mods that you want to make for a Bethesda game. I think you can get more granular with it and get into coding. I've never done it personally for any of my Skyrim mods or any of my Bethesda mods in general. I've never needed to code for any of them, but I'm positive you can. And like there's definitely a necessity for it for a lot of different types of mods. But yeah, I don't know. I think modding is a really great thing. It's how I found my love for game development and making game content. If it wasn't for modding Skyrim and a bunch of other games, I literally never would have joined the games industry. I never would have learned that what I truly wanted to do was to become a games artist, like a game artist. And I don't want kids to lose out on that. I didn't even like fathom that being an artist for video games was like a real job that people like did until I started making my own mods, and like that's where I learned it. That's where I learned that it's something that you can do. Were it not for my disability, it's definitely still be doing it today. And I still do make my own like games today. I just do it smaller scale on my own. I want to get into more Godot content. I really like making the Godot content. It does pretty well on the channel. I know people really like seeing it. It's for sure something I would like to do more of. Because I have so many cool things I would like to share and like teach everybody about when it comes to Godot. Godot is such a good engine. There's nothing else quite like it out there. I mean, there's like Unity and Unreal and shit, but it's just so special, I feel. So you just have so much you can do with it. Not even just from like a game development standpoint, but just from like an engine standpoint. Like you can customize it so much for yourself. And that's what I just think is so cool. You can't really customize like Unreal or Unity quite like you can customize Godot, in my opinion. I know there's add-ons and stuff, but I don't know. I just feel like just the ease of accessibility for customizing Godot is so cool. That's why it looks weird. This is driving me fucking cuckoo bananas. It's because the bottom lid goes up higher than the top lid. Alright. I'm liking how this is looking. I think it's looking really cool so far. I still don't know what is quite wrong with this here that's tweaking me out so much. I don't know. Just something about it just doesn't really feel right. Yeah, it's not in far enough yet. this. It might be this. Go ahead and just, oops. I think that's definitely part of it. It's got a lot of creases in it. I'm trying to match them. Like I said, both sides aren't going to match exactly, and that's kind of on purpose. But I want them to match kind of closer. Though, realizing now, we're kind of hitting the point where I was trying to end it today. I'll probably be going for a few minutes, just because I did have to stop a couple times and do little brief intermissions. But yeah, I think tomorrow, another 2 hours, we'll get a lot of more those like granular details in. I know last time I said I'd be streaming the following day, that being yesterday, that being Monday, and then I didn't. That was not because I didn't want to. That was because I forgot I had a doctor's appointment, and so I went to that. But we are so back, baby. I don't have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So yeah. This is looking really good. I'm really enjoying this. Let's see here. Pull this out a little bit. Pull this out a little bit. And then do a little bit of this. What the fuck is up with his chin? This is looking weird to me. That's why. That is why. Oh shit. That's not right. This is the problem with not using mirror modifier. Is that switching back between the two and trying to like get them a little bit more exact is you obsess over the little details, trying to get it exact, but you cannot get it perfect. You can always keep trying though. Again, don't want to really get it perfect because we want it to have sort of that handcrafted, sort of imperfect look. Which is not me just coping because I can't do it. It's also definitely stylistic. But also I can't get it perfect even if I wanted to. What the fuck? What was that? Just like collapsed in on itself like a singularity. right? And flatten this sucker out. You know me, love to flatten that sucker out. Probably definitely gonna have to bring up the oh my god, this tooth got so fucked up. Definitely gonna have to bring up the resolution even more for the oh no, what the smoke. Yeah. I think this is looking really sick. Looks like a real Norseman would have crafted that. I actually learned. I took one of those 23andMe, one of the DNA kits. I am a Norseman. Not a lot. About 13, 11%? Somewhere like that. Not a lot. But I'm a Norseman, so to all my Swedish and Norwegian brothers and sisters out there, fucking Guten Tag, brother. I don't mean that. But yeah, I am also parts. I want to say Swedish. It was pretty cool. I would actually love to live in a Scandinavian country. I'd really love that. I was originally when I was still in college, when I was still planning out my college, I had gotten everything together for when I graduated with my bachelor's. I was going to be doing my master's. Well, first I was going to do my the first part of my bachelor's at BU, Binghamton University in New York. And then I was going to be doing, so like my associates, and then I was going to be doing my second 2 years at in Alaska, at Anchorage. And then I was going to be completing my master's in Sweden. I was going to be going abroad and completing my master's in Sweden. Had it all lined up, had the visas figured out, had housing and all that figured out, and then I met my wife and decided to go to a different college entirely and do literally none of that. But yeah. So I was going to originally. I was going to be living in Sweden for like a while, and then I was probably going to try and get a visa to like stay there and work there and live there, but did not end up happening. Very glad it didn't. I love my wife. Would have been cool though. Would have been pretty cool. Not gonna lie. That's okay. I don't really have any regrets or anything. That is a fun fact about me. I was going to do all that, and then I didn't. I do still want to visit Alaska one day, though. Really would like to. Every time I tell people that, they're like, "You're fucking crazy. It's so cold there." It's like, really? Come on now. Don't think about just the. Also, I love the cold, so that's just me. Like it would not have bothered me at all. I am from upstate New York, dog. It is very cold there. And like obviously I realize Alaska's even worse and their snow's even worse, but I'm built for this. I'm built different. But everyone was like, "You're crazy." I was like, have you seen pictures of Alaska? Do you realize how beautiful that place is? How much like cool mountain ranges and stuff there are? I love the mountains. Me and my wife, we honeymooned in the Adirondack mountain range, and it was possibly the greatest like 4 days of my entire life. One, I was married, that was pretty sick. Hanging out with my wife, that was even more sick. But even more sick than all of that was the fact that we were in the most gorgeous mountain range I think exists in the entire world. Personally, I'm lying. I'm not gonna compare mountain ranges, but There's almost certainly probably prettier spots, but the Adirondack mountain range, if you guys ever get to go, fucking rules. We want to take a trip there on our 10-year anniversary and experience it again because it was just so incredible. It was such a nice time. They had this really cool shop there that sold alpaca fur stuff, and we bought my niece a alpaca fur doll because she was still very young at the time. She was a wee little babe. And then we bought I think my wife a sweater. We got a sweater there, like a blanket or something. No, it definitely wasn't a blanket. If it was a blanket, we'd still have it. I think it might have been a sweater or something. Such a neat. There was a lot of neat little shops up there. I was like, oh my god, I want to live here forever. I never want to leave. This place is literally my dream. But we did leave. We did end up leaving. I live in Tennessee now. But maybe one day we'll be back in New York. I would really love to. I don't like this state. I love New York a lot and I miss it. You never know. Life is crazy, dog. Life is crazy. You never really know where you're gonna end up next. I think a lot of this dragon's bigger shapes are carved out and figured out and looking good. And like I said before, we are just going to be taking this sucker and plopping him right up there. Not even going to worry about re-sculpting it, because that sounds actually fucking horrible. Definitely don't want to do that. I'm also going to be having to pick and pull some some brushes and stuff for some more Norse designs, because I have a lot of like Greek ones and stuff. I don't really know how many Norse ones I have. I have a lot of Celtic ones as well, and I mentioned earlier I might just use a couple of the Celtic ones because Skyrim does the same thing and a lot of people don't even notice. So if Bethesda can get away with it, so can I. I'm realizing now I like squared this up quite a bit, whereas originally it was more like, instead of dead on, it was like face downwards, and it's not so much anymore. But from the front he looks a little goofy, but from the side he looks very cool. I think that just comes with it. What the fuck tool am I using? There we go. Also probably import all my brushes and stuff before the next stream, just to get them in here, so I'm not having to import them on stream and waste time like that. Yeah, looking good. Alright, and I think the last thing I do before I end the stream is we're a little over the time that I was trying to a lot, but that's fine. I'm not granular with these things. I'm chill guy. I don't even mind. Probably keep on going if I didn't have some chicken defrosting. I'm kind of a hungry guy. But today's meal prep day. We got a meal prep. So I'll be doing all that, which usually takes quite a while. Though my wife doesn't meal prep anymore, or rather, I would meal prep for her when I did mine, but she doesn't do that anymore. So it's not as much work as it used to be, which is super cool. But I didn't mind doing it. I like it. I like to cook. I like to cook a lot. Don't get too super. Actually, I do. I've been cooking a lot more recently, just because I don't know. I guess just I've reignited my love for cooking. Not that I ever lost it, but we just tend to have more ingredients on hand nowadays, like raw ingredients, because we've been doing a lot more like I don't really know how to describe it. It's just I don't really know what caused it. I think we just sort of started keeping more like raw ingredients like flour and stuff on hand. Dude, if you've ever made your own dude and dudettes, if you've ever made your own tortillas before, you'll literally never buy store-bought again. They are so cheap to make, they are so easy to make, and they are so much better than store-bought tortillas. It's crazy. Genuinely, if you've never had like a fresh, right off the stove, like your own homemade tortilla, you are missing out. They're not expensive to make at all. They are actually genuinely cheaper than buying them from a store, and they're about 1,000 times better. I will never not get my own tortillas. The only thing is that making like thinner tortillas, I feel, is a little bit more difficult. So if you're trying to make tortillas for like enchiladas and stuff, it's probably a little bit more work. I have never tried. Generally, when I'm eating my tortillas, I'm eating them plain with just like a little bit of salt and butter on top. It's really good that way. Or I'm like making like a wrap or like a burrito or something with it, so they don't need to be like super thin or anything. But oh my god, homemade tortillas, so fucking good. Literally, it's like 3 ingredients. It's like tortillas that I make are flour, salt, and butter, I think, and water, or just flour, salt, and water maybe. I don't really remember. It's like 3 or 4 ingredients. I got the recipe on my phone, but very good, very, very good. Make your own tortillas, folks. It's well worth it. Well worth the time investment, because actually it doesn't even take that much time either, especially if you're just making a big batch of them to use throughout the week. It takes probably an hour. It's not like it's a yeasty like dough or anything that you make for them, so you literally don't even have to wait for them to rise or anything. You make the dough, flatten it out, and cook it. Bob's your uncle. Fucking rules. Seriously consider it. What else do I like to cook recently? I've been really into baking. I love baking stuff. I make these like healthy 40-calorie pumpkin cookies that I eat for breakfast, and I'll snack on throughout the day. They are really good for you. Get some pumpkin in your diets, y'all. Pumpkin is great for you. Also, pumpkin is really great for dogs, if you don't know. Feed your dogs pumpkin. They love that shit. My dog, she go crazy for some pumpkin. She loves pumpkin. Just gotta get that, don't even gotta get, like, anything crazy. Just get the, pumpkin in a can, pumpkin puree. Works great. You can use it in so much stuff. Pretty much, yeah, you can use it in a lot of stuff. Using cakes and cookies and so many other things. This is Noah's Recipe Hour, by the way. If you guys aren't familiar with the channel, this is do this every single video. We spend an hour just talking about recipes. Just in case you're new, just in case you don't know about that, we always do it. Part of your programming. Part of my standard programming. If any of you are familiar or fans of Eddie Burback, I just finished watching his Italy and Olive Garden video today. I do realize it came out like 4 weeks ago or something, but I did not watch it when it originally came out. It probably came out even longer than that. And usually I watch all of his videos when they first come out because I really like his videos. But then I saw it and I was like, I'll watch that later, and then I fucking forgot about it. And the other night I was scrolling for something to watch, and it came up, and I was like, oh my god, I hadn't seen that one yet. So I watched it over the course of like 2 days, and it was really good. It was a really cool video. I like other countries a lot. I mean, basically in the video, he tries Olive Garden, and then he goes to Italy, and the conclusion of the video is that this is not the actual conclusion. This is just this is just the funnier conclusion of yeah, of course fucking Italy is better than Olive Garden. But the main thing is how we view food from like our hometowns and where we're like from and stuff is very interesting, because no matter where you're from, you have some sort of dish that is just your home, that you take pride in because it is from where you are. For me, that's pizza. I'm from New York, and there's nothing like a New York slice. You can get a New York slice in LA, and this is exactly what he says in the video. I'm just going to steal what he says. You can get a New York slice in LA, but it's not going to be the same because it's not from New York. There's something about it being from there that just makes it more, I guess, valuable to you if you care about that sort of thing. And a lot of people do. They do care about the food that they grew up on, the food from their home, and it's because a lot of people take pride in their home and where they're from. I take a lot of pride in the fact that I'm a New Yorker. You know, I think New York has a lot to offer, and I think I was mentioning this in my last stream, but it's just, I feel like people just look at the city and they say, that's New York, but there's so much more. It's such a cool place. I think more people should give the state outside of the city a chance. Go upstate, check it out. There's so much cool stuff upstate. Go to Ithaca, go to Utica, Albany, Rochester, Syracuse. Even smaller cities like Auburn. Great places to visit. I don't know if I would make a cross-country vacation just for Auburn, New York, but it is where Harriet Tubman lived. So there's the Tubman House there. There's the Martin Luther King Center. There's a couple cool spots in Auburn. There's also Skinny Atlas, which is right nearby Auburn. And they have the best bakery I've ever been to in my entire life. Incredible Italian French loaves. I would just eat those suckers raw. Not like actually raw, but I would eat the loaves, just the loaf. No butter, no salt, no nothing. Just straight up loaf, because it was that fucking good. But I'm a slut for bread. I love bread, so. You know me. Let me go ahead and get the line tool out. Yeah, this shit's looking sick as hell. I'd love to visit outside of the United States. I've only ever been to Canada. Used to go to Canada quite a bit. But I would love to see more than just Canada. Even though Canada's a really cool place, I actually really like it. I know a lot of Americans like to shit on Canada because it's like funny or whatever, but Canada is actually a really cool place. It reminds me a lot of home, a lot of New York. I'd actually love to like spend some time living in Canada. This stream is just me saying all the places I would like to live. But no, it is really cool and I do like it. Shout out to all my Canadians out there. Let's go, bud. There's this one guy. I see his YouTube shorts a lot. He's like a construction guy. I'm nearly positive he's Canadian. He calls everybody Bubsky. I think it's very funny. I like it. Canadians are funny people. They got really, they're funny. I like them. And I think we were wrapping up here. Got the bulk of what I wanted to do done. Alright. I think some of these things I will probably leave for tomorrow. Just really thinking. There we go. Had to calculating. Actually not gonna cross it over there because I gotta replace all that shit anyways. Pull out the non-straight line brush now. Ooh. Oh, not quite it. There we go. Oh, I fucked it up. Ah! Not bad. Not bad. Actually, we can save that. Oi, bud. There we go. Yeah, I'm a bit of a professional. Yeah, I've done this a time or two. That's pretty good. I fuck heavy. I fuck heavy. I likes it. Well, we got a lot of work to do on it tomorrow. No doubt about that. Not a doubt about that. But this is a really good starting point. Let's just get another view on this sucker. Gonna be adding a lot of patterns and stuff in tomorrow. Going really deep into the finer details. But yeah. That is the main point. That is the main design here. I'm fucking with it. Again, you guys always gotta trust the I'm saying this like I'm blaming you. No, this is definitely me. I was a little bit skeptical about the process early on in the video, I'm not gonna lie to you, but always trust the process. It will come out fine if you just trust the process. Gonna just do some quick little cool carvings on the tongue. These don't mean anything, they just look like nice little squigglies. See, isn't that rad? Doesn't that rule? Alright, I'm starving expeditiously, so I think that's where I'm gonna end it for today. Going to stop fucking with it right now. Okay, cool. Okay, we're done. We're done. Before I keep messing with it. But this guy looks cool. I likes him. I likes him quite a lot. I think it looks really neat. I think this will be a great addition to your old ball grabs home. I think he'll be a big fan. I think he will like it a lot. Oh, jeez. Cutting this guy off and putting him up there is going to be a little bit annoying. I'm not even going to pretend it's not. But we can do it. Repeat after me. I might literally fake it by just adding in like a ring around there. Like some more geometry, a little ring around there. Because I'll add some more texture, some more flair anyways, so. But you never know. Put the thing back where it goes. Glove off. Alright, well, this is the design, folks. This is the design. And again, I really like it, but I would love to hear your guys' opinions on it, kind of how you're feeling about it. What would you change? What would you not change? That sort of thing. But yeah, I very much look forward to your guys' feedback. If your viewport ever becomes unaligned, just click center cursor to all. There you go. This does look really sick. This does look really sick. It's definitely far from done, but we will be able to finish it tomorrow. That will not be too terribly difficult. Hopefully. But yeah, she looks pretty cool. She's looking pretty cool. So anyways, I'm ending it here officially right now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. To everybody who joined in on chat, it was super cool hanging out with you guys today. I really hope we can get some more chatters in here more often, because I'd love some people from YouTube coming on over and checking it out, saying hi, hanging out. I've been really enjoying live streaming, but I got a lot of projects in the works right now. I got a lot of ideas for videos that are coming up. Got to give a quick shout out to the channel members. Let me pull them up. Let's see here. Oh, jeez. Yawn. Oh. Community. Nope. It is right here. Okay. We got it. I want to give a shout out to the channel members here. Thank you so much to Light NVS for your support. I really appreciate you showing your support and giving to the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. But I also want to appreciate all of you guys for all of the work, or all of the support that you guys give. I really do appreciate it. I really love doing YouTube stuff. I really love content creation, and I'm really enjoying being back to it. So, new tutorial coming soon. I got a lot of other tutorials right here in the noggin that I've been thinking about, and so a lot of stuff in the works. We are working. No live stream tomorrow, but thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.